everybody. Mrs. Almeter here, Director of Counseling at Calvert College High School. I miss you. So I'm going to talk to you about making a sourdough starter. So I've always been intimidated by it. I'm making my own bread, and time wasn't on my side. And so with us at home, I took advantage of the time and tackled sourdough starter. So I wanted to share with you some of my tips and some resources so that you might consider making your own sourdough starter at home. So if you find yourself lucky to have some flour, and it really only takes a few minutes every day to get it running, it just takes a lot of days. But it's really easy in making a strong starter, and you can make a batch of bread and then share some of the starter with others as well. So to make the sourdough starter, you'll need three things: flour, water, and a container to keep it in. So on day one, clean container, I prefer mason jars, and they need to be able to house at least 2 quarts, and there needs to be space for air so it doesn't explode with the fermentation process. So you want the flour to be any kind of flour. I have here all-purpose flour. If you prefer whole wheat or a combination or really another baking flour, that could work too. But what you do need is half a cup of flour and a half a cup of water. You mix it into your container, stir it, then leave it on your counter for 2 days at room temperature. Fast forward, it's day 3. When you open it up, you'll see some bubbles on the starter. If there's no bubbles, then leave it for another day. If you have bubbles, this is what you keep doing to move it forward. You add a half a cup of flour, again, any kind or combination, even if it's different than the one you started with. Add a half cup of water, you stir it, and let it sit for another day. On days 4, 5, and 6, you add a half a cup of flour and a half a cup of water each day, and you stir. So fast forward, it's day 6, things are looking good, it's bubbly, and there's a sour smell. What you're going to do is add more flour and water so you have at least 3.5 cups of starter in your container. Then you're ready to use it in recipes. But like many living things, which again with this fermentation, you need to feed and maintain your starter. So if you bake a lot or find yourself baking a lot, you want to keep it on the counter, and you'll need to feed it twice a day. If you're more casual of a baker like I am, I store it in the fridge and then I feed it once a week. So you take it out of the fridge, and what you may find is a clear liquid. You can see that. There's a clear liquid there. No need to panic. You can drain it, or you can stir it in as it's a byproduct for the fermenting yeast. You're going to remove all but a half a cup of the starter. You can discard it, but I'd prefer not to waste things, and so that additional, the starter, I would leave it in another container and use it for other baking needs like pancakes or cakes. Add flour and lukewarm water and mix. You're going to let it rest at room temperature for at least 2 hours, then you put it back into the refrigerator. When you have a recipe and you're ready to bake, you're going to take out the starter, discard again or put aside all but a half a cup, and feed it as usual. You're going to let it rest at room temperature for 12 hours until bubbly. Repeat until doubling or tripling in size, 6 to 8 hours. So this, what I've given you, is kind of a broad stroke, points you need to know, but the resources that I have found very helpful on starting, specific ingredients, as well as troubleshooting, and how to maintain and feed the sourdough starter are 2 sources: Artisan Bread in 5 minutes a day and King Arthur Flour. So they've been great resources. I recommend you check them out. So I thank you for your time, for your patience. Miss you and can't wait to see you in person. But until then, happy baking, and whatever your self-care is, I hope you find it. And we'll see you when we see you. Take care. Bye.